It's the 28th of March and this is your Solana Daily Debrief. Starting with Curb and Pepe versus WIF. Curb thinks it's going to break $3.50 and then teleport to $10. Now personally, I think Bonk is going to outperform. However, that's when I factor in staking rewards. And WIF is definitely going for it. So congratulations WIF, and let's see if it does anything like Pepe did. More info from Curb. If you actually jumped into the first vote with JUP, doesn't matter who you voted for, you could have voted for anybody, you will be eligible for some ZEUS token. At present, and this is based on a few different assumptions, but essentially, if you staked 5,000 JUP, you should be walking away with $1,000 worth of ZEUS, just as an airdrop. The math on this, and this is assuming a conservative $500 million market cap on TGE. 500 million is kind of conservative these days, but there still needs to be a little bit of effort to get. Here's a reminder to stake a SOL. Bev is illustrating a 0.80,000 SOL lost. Stake, this would be like 40 SOL or about 8,000 USDC every 2 to 3 days, risk-free. And this is in reference to retired Chad Dev that just did a whole lot of stuff. SOL into Reaver's NFTs, and that didn't do very well. SOL into Cypher, which was exploited. And in this particular occasion, not really doing anything bad, just not taking profits. So this is pretty good lesson in general. Nothing of course is financial advice, but in many respects taking profits is a smart thing to do. Tensorians went up to 140 SOL and back down to 40 SOL. Now retired Chad Dev seems to have a decent number, but when he factors it all in, down 70,000 SOL. So I'll just give you an overview of how this actually works. Let's use Ethereum as an example. People that have been on Ethereum for some time, they go into altcoins and then out of altcoins back into ETH. They're trying to actually grow their ETH back. Same thing happens with NFTs. They go into NFTs and then out. Every now and then you see a massive purchase from a whale. Maybe they go buy a CryptoPunk for like $2 million or something crazy. However, when this happens, it's for a specific purpose. It's for clout, and because they got a whole lot, it's just fun. So to be really honest, this is how it's going to happen on Sol as well. People will move into things, and I'm referring to smart money here, with the expectation that they can flip it, maybe after a few days or a few months, and return back to Sol. Now if you don't have the skill all the time, fine. But maybe you just want to do a simple dollar cost average, take the Sol and just start staking the Sol. And of course, stake it with validator.com. By the way, if you've done any interactions with MSOL, you may be eligible to claim some Marinade tokens. So this is the DAO governance token for Marinade. And Season 2 claiming period will begin shortly after. And you must claim by April 1st, otherwise this Marinade will go back to the DAO's treasury. Just come, click on this link, go and connect your wallet. I have no idea if I'm eligible at all. Claimable, and nothing here, and nothing here. I do think I have maybe some referral rewards somewhere, but I honestly can't remember the wallet I used. So I will not be getting any Marinade. If you like to make content, good. If you don't and you want to learn, go and teach yourself and make some decent content. We definitely need more content out there. The Solana Collective is basically foundation run, but one thing in particular is rewarding content creators. So if you've got the skills to pay the bills, you can go and create some content, and there's some decent prizes here. There's a 48-hour window, April 9th to 10th, when you have to submit the content. And there's also a 25% discount on Crossroad tickets during this 48-hour submission window, which must be mentioned in the submission. By the way, if you can get to Turkey for May 10th to 11th, then definitely get to Solana Crossroads. This is like Breakpoint, but Breakpoint's been put on by the foundation, and this is strictly from the Solana community, and it's been hosted by Step Finance. More things are happening with MetaDAO. They have a listing. This is in MarginFi, so strictly speaking, if you know what you're doing, you can short the Meta token. You deposit some collateral, you borrow some Meta, you sell that Meta in a Futagik market, and you buy back from the spot market when the proposal completes, profiting if you were right. Radiyum's now in V3, and MadShield has gone and completed an audit, which is great to see. They also have $505,000 up for bounty by spotting bugs. Probably the biggest news of the day, JUP, the DAO has been officially funded with 10 million USDC and 100 million JUP to the DAO wallet. I'm not really gonna give too much in the way of price predictions, but maybe 100 million JUP in a year. If someone had 100 million JUP, maybe they'd be worth $500 million. So this is a decent amount of money in the DAO there. I'll give you more information on this later because the first vote's coming up on Friday, where you have to vote for the core working group and what they're going to be paid. By the way, I watched the ecosystem call and I'm actually still doing some edits for it. But this thing was a very good call. And so if you're not already doing so, go and stake your JUP. And also be very, very aware that anything attached to JUP I think will do well, which will also mean we'll see these people here, scammers pretending to be someone they're not, jumping in on the threads. So just be very, very vigilant. And remember, I have no idea why scammers are so silly like this, but they quite often put hyphens in there. And also I have no idea why scammers are like this, but they quite often put hyphens actually in their domain names. So that's why I do not like any hyphens in domain names. It's a bit of a red flag. Season 1 of Gaming was a huge success, and it definitely was. This quick post overlays the fact that some people were botting, but also almost 28,000 people did not submit their wallet, even though they had the option there for 7 days and there was a 3-day and 24-hour warning that was sent. So if you're going to jump into season 2, just go and submit your wallet straight away. Also, on the subject of this, I didn't really do much in the way of engagement. I'm just busy with content and I just didn't. So I didn't actually get a whole lot of GMRX. However, this was very, very lucrative. So it was definitely worth doing. Solana 1.18 is coming out soon, and this is basically a new validator client or an upgrade to the validator client. There's a few things here that are a little bit too technical, and I will try and see if I can do a video in there maybe within a week that makes it a little bit more simpler. But essentially optimizations so that we can get transactions through faster. This is a quick little thread, but remember, don't go blaming Helios or Mert or anyone like that. It all comes down to the scheduler. And the best explain like I'm 5 analogy that I've been given regarding the scheduler is if you're trying to get onto a highway or like a motorway. So there's an on-ramp, and let's pretend there's quite a bit of congestion, it's rush hour. And so you're just there on the on-ramp, and there's one of those traffic lights that goes green, orange, red, green, orange, red, and one car is allowed to go at a particular time. So how it currently works is you're there in the scheduler and it's trying to push transactions through just normal, like a car goes through, and then you come to the scheduler, but it can't actually see that you have a priority fee. So it can't bump you to the top of the scheduler. So in other words, the issue lies with the scheduler initially, because the scheduler cannot actually recognize what's going on with your fee. How much do you want to pay? It can't see that. The TLDR, to keep it nice and simple, basically 1.18 should make things a whole lot better. It won't be perfect, and I'll cover this in another video. A big announcement here from Solana Sensei: for every Namaste NFT you hold during the mint date, you'll have 2 whitelist spots. The only guaranteed way of getting a whitelist for the pandas is by holding a Namaste. However, if you can't afford a Namaste NFT, they're probably like 10 Sol, something like that. Do not worry, you still have an opportunity. I have one of these NFTs. I've held it since I got it. I won't be selling it, and I will be minting these pandas. This is really cool from the DJ and Epic Academy, The Recruits. This is from rough sketch to final copy of the comic, and I really, really like it. I actually really do dig comics. And I think there's going to be a few brands, maybe select brands, that are going to push heavily on the IP to try and get it out into Web 2. I've learned quite a bit about how IP works in the Web 2 way from just a Twitter space. So I'll cover that in another video. Long story short, if you're actually thinking of creating a project or pushing value to a project, try and make, in my opinion, basically your product appeal to the masses and actually go for a Web 2 audience. Only hopefully you can do it in a way where you are holding onto your IP, but you're doing it in a way where you're not giving away your rights, so that a Web 2 company, they just can't come and you sign a deal and you get a tiny return, even if it's quite a profitable endeavor. And that's how it currently works. On the subject of IP and NFTs, Claynosaur's Return of the Packs. If you're going to NFT New York City on the 4th of the 4th, go and try and grab yourself a pack. Sharky and Sol Casino. There's a strategic partnership here. Bears get some extra points and Sharks get free USD bets on Sol Casino. There's a link here. Go give it a go. Best of luck to you with your bets. Onto Parcel in the RWA narrative. So real world assets, investing in like real estate and things like that on the blockchain. Sniper has a little take here. Parcel token will be used as a gating mechanism to access high quality real estate data and real world utility to real world assets. I said this before JUP, and I'll say it again, do not fumble your airdrop. So personally, when Parcel comes out, I'm going to have hopefully a little bit of an airdrop, By the way, I do have a referral, it's just ZEUS MNDE if you haven't started using Parcel yet. And I'm probably just going to hold my tokens because I think come 2025 and maybe even 2026, I think Parcel will do very, very well. And Light has a thread on RWAs. Long story short, in this person's belief, RWAs are not just another narrative, it's a narrative. Sometimes narratives aren't immediately obvious as well. So this makes plenty of sense. Just as in the previous cycle, metaverses made plenty of sense. However, not many people went and bought, Decentraland, Sand, all these things when they were really, really cheap. Instead, they kind of went crazy as soon as Meta, like Facebook Meta, actually got involved with VR and metaverses and stuff, and then they went really, really crazy. So my prediction is, and it's not financial advice of course, but anything that's connected to real world assets, if it actually pumps really, really well, great, by all means take profit. But maybe you want to consider keeping a small moon bag. That's my personal advice for myself, and of course, I'm not giving you that advice, I'm just telling you how I'm thinking. And to give you another little bit of information, AI. I think we all knew AI would pump, but it didn't really start to pump until Nvidia actually made massive gains. So the same thing is going to happen here. There's going to be some sort of real world asset that starts to perform very, very well in Web 2, and then speculation may take over and it'll push into Web 3. Congrats to Phantom with 5 million monthly active users in their wallet. On the subject of wallets, this is relating to Coinbase Wallet, and fortunately they've dismissed the claims against Coinbase Wallet, but basically in some way they're trying to regulate self-custody of wallets. And you may have seen something similar apparently happening in the EU. However, you can't actually stop self-custody wallets. Anyone can create a self-custody wallet. So this is where I guess people that aren't really, really smart on this stuff are in politics and they're making these decisions. It's just a little bit silly. Hivemapper is doing well. Another 22 million kilometers recorded in the last 30 days. Once again here, maybe the token will do really well. I have no idea. But if you do a lot of driving, go and grab one of these units, and I would hope to see that it'll be profitable within just a couple of months. Depends on the amount of driving you do. Here's some news that I wouldn't necessarily think is bullish news, but it actually is. So amongst the top 10 spots by market cap, there are more Solana meme coins than Ethereum meme coins. Now, so Doge, that's on its own blockchain. So there's Shiba, Pepe, I think Flocky maybe BNB, I'm not actually sure. Then there's Meme, actually maybe Flocky is on ETH. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you've got Wen, Slef, Book of Meme, Bonk, and Dog with Hat, all on Solana. And I think this is just due to the ease. You can go in and out of a position really, really fast. You can go and buy 20 cents worth of WIF if you want to. You can send someone 1 bonk. You can't do that with any of these. The gas transaction to send 1 Pepe will be like $20. So in some ways I'm excited that we are doing very well in terms of meme coins because we're bringing in all these new users. They chase these easy gains. Most of the time, of course, they get wrecked. That's just the nature of human emotion and greed. However, the other thing is some of them will actually stick around. Now, unfortunately, there's a lot of pre-sales still happening, and the easiest way to become a millionaire in 2024 is apparently to have an ETH PFP, then go and do a pre-sale on Solana. Doesn't really seem to make sense. Now onto the shadow token. So for maybe a week or a couple of weeks, I had mentioned how this is now in profit for a lot of people that had held for a while. It was doing not very well for quite some time, and then it started to do well, and I said FTX has a decent amount. They may be looking to unload it, and therefore you may consider actually taking profit. One person tagged me on Twitter and they said, what happened? I sold it, I dumped it all because you said that whatever I said, and then the price just went and exploded. Now what happened here, I covered yesterday, but basically Coinbase said they're going to list this asset soon. So just like clockwork, boom, up it goes. Also, there is the chance, we don't actually know. We don't know when FTX is actually going to sell it. So maybe they're going to sell it as an OTC trade. Maybe it's going to go to an exchange, and when it goes to the exchange, they're going to use it for market making. So maybe it's not actually going to affect the price. If you're bullish on a token, then keep it. If you want to take profits, take profits. But if I'm giving you information and the information changes, then the information changes. And of course, nothing I'm saying is financial advice, but all I'm literally saying is this is the information we have. If someone goes and dumps it, the price would, as you'd expect, go down. Then if all of a sudden the information changes and a big exchange decides to list it, the price will go up. It's just how things work. However, you can always just go to JUP and go and set a DCA. So as an example, what do we have in this wallet? Let's say we've got some Blaze. So as you can see, we've got some Blaze. So let's just pretend that our Blaze is Shadow, and we may decide that we want to actually allocate some Blaze and buy a little bit of Soul every day. So I'm going to go max. I'm going to sell this $7.78. Let's pretend this is like $700 worth of Shadow or whatever. And then we may want to actually do quite a few orders. It's not going to really make much point because it's such a small amount. Maybe every 12 hours over 30 orders. Now, clearly this is not going to work because I don't have enough funds in here. But if you did it like this, then you'll be selling over 15 days at different prices. You can also buy a token because essentially that's what we're doing. We're selling this and buying this. Otherwise, you may go with your USDC and go and buy your Soul. So you know what? We may as well do this. We can always do with a little bit more Soul. I can't do too many orders. So we'll just go 12 hours, 10, start, and then confirm. And then the 50 USDC, it goes to Jupiter. It's locked in the smart contracts. And then every order, 5 USDC is put in, and then you're going to get a little bit of Soul trickling into your wallet at different price points over, in this case, the next 5 days, because we're doing 2 orders a day. The other option, of course, is you can use limit orders. Now, limit orders don't always actually trigger, but sometimes they would. So we can go with some Shadow token, and we can go and buy some Soul, or we can go and buy some USDC. Maybe we want to go and sell 500, and we're going to go and change this in case it pumps. Maybe 2.5. We can have expiry that maybe only lasts 30 days or custom, and then we'll go and submit that order. There is a platform fee that's minimal, 0.1%, which goes to JUP, and then they go and put this on the order books. There is always a chance that if it goes up here, that it will not be filled, because this is a wick up, and it's not necessarily going to be filled here. However, in this range, I would imagine it will fill quite nicely. By the way, on the subject of JUP, let's just quickly go back to the fact that there's a vote coming up on Friday. So come up here to the cat, then click on research. This opens up the research page. And then at this page, you can see all these different proposals. You can go have a read, add your thoughts, do whatever you like. So this is very, very important. The draft proposal funding the JUP core working group. Go have a read of this. If you want my TLDR, I'll be voting yes in the DAO vote. That's what I'll be doing. You can do whatever you like. This lists out who the people are and what they're doing and their efforts and their responsibilities. So there are 4 people in this group: Cryptic, Slorg, Kimosabe, and Dirt. It goes over quite a bit more information, and what they're after is a pretty decent proposal. And what they're after is a decent amount of money, $400,000 salary, and then a JUP token allocation, 2.5 to 5 million JUP. Now you can go and argue this if this is too much, or in some ways you could argue that this is not enough. Many people probably wouldn't go and say this is not enough, because if this 5 million JUP goes to a team of 4 people, with some other people helping them of course, then that's going to be a pretty decent payday. There's also a vesting period of course, but essentially in my opinion you want people that are actually working hard for the JUP DAO, and even though they stand to actually make a lot of money, it's quite hard to find people that have actually put in a huge amount of work for a long period of time, that have been grinding through the bear market, have been building connections and just hustling. And the important thing is experience. Sometimes they're going to have to do a 100-hour week, but they have to do it with knowledge that you just can't teach. So, is it worth it? In my opinion, it's worth it. Exactly how much they'll be going for, I don't yet know. But at 4 PM UTC time, if you jump into the JUP Discord, there is a new town hall, and it's going to go over this exactly. So they'll be after feedback on the amount that they're asking for. So give this a full read, go and put some comments here, and just remember this is a bull market. You have to incentivize someone to show up every day and put in the work. Otherwise, someone with a whole lot of skill, they can just go find alpha, trade, make profit, not add any value to the ecosystem, and make bank. And after doing this for quite a few years, it's actually not too difficult. But at the moment, I'm just trying to give you a whole lot of content and just upskill people around. The other actionable, of course, is Basket. If you're eligible for the airdrop, remember you've only got a couple more days to actually go and claim this, or maybe it's about a week or so. I'll just quickly show you. So this is Basket here, claim.basket.fi/vesting, and then we're all connected here. You can see I've got a couple more days until it unlocks. So I'm more just putting it on your radar, because after it unlocks, I think we've got a week and then we can't claim any further. And then just claim, get the basket and confirm. I'll give you lots more information on Basket in the future. I have no idea if the price has gone up or down since I last spoke about it, but I am actually bullish on Basket. That's all for today. Make sure you're staking your JUP, and make sure you vote on the proposal on Friday. Catch you tomorrow.